welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to the most gangster politician ever, Cassius Marcellus Clay by the Fat Electrician. Let's get into it.
It's a riveting story.
That's a baby.
It's really good. All right, we gotta go.
Hi,
I gotta tell the
YouTube.
internet about the guy I named you after, okay? You gotta go hang out with Mom now.
Yeah, we'll watch Birdemic next.
Today we're talking about the most gangster politician in American history. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassius Marcellus Clay, aka the Lion of Whitehall. Whitehall being his family home that he grew up in Kentucky as the son of one of the richest slave owners in all of America.
I thought the most gangster politician was that Gangster. I don't remember his name. The one that died of syphilis in jail. Wasn't he also a politician, or did I get that wrong? That is, in fact, a baby. Tippy correctly identifies a baby. Let's go!
Going to college at Yale to become a lawyer, he would attend a speech from a famous abolitionist by the name of William Lloyd Garrison, and that speech would change the entire trajectory of Cassius Clay's life, as well as American history.
I feel like I've heard of Cassius
Clay decided he was not only going to be quietly opposed to slavery, but that he was actively going to fight against it. He would be set down the path to become the most influential abolitionist of all time. Oh god, forgot to do the ad. Hold on. Sorry for bothering the video. Real quick, this video is brought to you by the biggest sponsor of the channel and my favorite sporting goods store, Shields. They've got over 30 retail locations
not a
across the United
politician.
States.
That's who I was thinking of. I was thinking of Capone. Okay, Capone was not a politician. He just influenced a lot of politics.
They've got everything you can imagine there. This is where I got this shirt. It's where I got this backpack.
You've definitely heard of this guy? I feel like I've heard the name Cassius Clay.
Again, use my code down below. You're going to get free
I don't know
shipping.
anything about him,
Back to the video. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to mention, Muhammad Ali's original name was Cassius Clay. Yeah, he was actually named after this guy too. Anyways, back to the video.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
If you don't know, at this point in time, there's basically two different camps you could fall into for being anti-slavery. You could be an abolitionist or an emancipationist. An emancipationist is somebody that wants to vote it out over time, over the next 5, 10, 20 years, versus an abolitionist, which is somebody that believes we need to end slavery right now, and they're willing to fight about it. And in the case of Cassius Clay, he was willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. You see, Cassius Clay wasn't just some nobody punk kid that went off to college and decided that he didn't like slavery. This was the son of one of the wealthiest slave owners in all of America. So for him to come out—
Whoa. So Cassius Clay was the son of one of the wealthiest slave owners in all of America, and he came out as an abolitionist, which means end slavery right now. I'll fight you for it. Not like we'll sit back and we'll figure out things and maybe in 10 years. He was a meet me outside kind of guy. Nice. I like that.
And voice anti-slavery views was a huge deal, and it pissed off a lot of people. So, being that this was the 1820s, what do you do when you're pissed off? You challenge somebody to a duel. So needless to say, the young Cassius Clay found himself partaking in an awful lot of duels, and he never, ever lost. So, obviously, he's pretty good at it.
Giga Chat, is that like back in the duel times where they would pull out a pistol? A quick draw, like one-shot baby pistol? And they're like, let's duel. And he's like, dude, I'm fucking 20-0. I don't know why you keep doing this. Oh, they're all single action too. Yeah, we had to pull it back. Yeah. Oh man, this guy's awesome. He was cashing me outside. How about that? Play fist fought, I believe. Oh, he was a fist fighter. That's even sicker. It wasn't even a single action gun duel. It was a fist fight. This man's awesome. Where's the idiot challenge this guy to the fourth duel? Like, bro, he's on a kill streak.
What do you do when you find something you're pretty good at? You want to keep doing it, right? Right. So Cassius Clay starts challenging anyone and everyone to a duel that dares to oppose him. It became common knowledge in his community that Cassius Clay would be willing to fight the wind if it blew from the west and he wanted it to blow from the east. This man went on a dueling rampage, so much so that by the time he graduated college, he was considered to be the deadliest duelist in all of North America. This guy was putting slave—
Real talk, real quick. He was one of the deadliest duelers in America, right? A long time later, Muhammad Ali's parents named him Cassius Clay. And then he became one of the best fighters in the world. What are the chances? Did his parents know? That's a powerful name right there. Yeah, Muhammad Ali is the other person named Cassius Clay, named after one of the best duelists in America, and then he became one of the best fighters in America. That's crazy. Some names hold power, man.
corners in the dirt like he was Johnny Appleseed planting fucking trees. He became known as the deadliest abolitionist of all time. So he graduates from college, goes back home as a lawyer. Shortly after
This
that,
is
his
all in
father
college while
passes
becoming a
away
lawyer.
and leaves everything to Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay immediately frees all of his father's slaves, costing himself $40,000, which is roughly $2 million today. And then
Good guy.
he even gives some of the slaves land and money on top of it. Absolutely infuriating the pro-slavery people in Kentucky. So what do you do when half the local population hates your guts? You
No, this guy didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk. Also, shout out to his dad, obviously bad guy for having slaves, but his dad still gave him everything, probably knowing that that's the first thing his son was gonna do because he was an outspoken abolitionist. That's based.
run for public office, and that's exactly what Cassius Clay did. He served in the Kentucky state legislature from 1835 to 1841, and then finally lost his re-election, to which the pro-slavery crowd breathed a huge sigh of relief because they finally defeated Cassius Clay, or so they thought. Clay
you didn't.
immediately starts traveling the country, giving amazing anti-slavery speeches, winning
Could you imagine if one like someone was running for office right now in America and his history is the best duelist in all of America? Yeah, this guy's like Captain America. He's just going around fist fighting for freedom. Like if someone was running for office today and it's like, who's that guy? Oh, he's a lawyer who during law school fist fought everyone who opposed his views and won. He would just beat the shit out of you. Like bare knuckle.
over hearts and minds, and this absolutely infuriates the pro-slavery people because they don't know how to stop him. You can't legally stop a guy from talking to people that want to listen to him, and they can't legally kill Cassius Clay in a duel because he's the best duelist on earth. What do? You've got to illegally kill him. The problem with that is they can't find a hitman that's dumb enough to think that they can take out Cassius Clay, so they have to go to the one crevice of the planet where they can find somebody truly insane enough to think that they can do this job. And that man's name was Sam Brown, an assassin from New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans,
Russell
even
Cave,
worse.
Kentucky. Cassius Clay's finishing up one of his world-famous speeches as he pulls out a burlap sack. He reaches into the sack and pulls out a holy Bible and says, "For those of you that believe in the laws of God, I make to you this argument against slavery." Sets the Bible on the table. Reaches back in the sack, pulls out a copy of the U.S. Constitution, and says, "For those of you that believe in the laws of man, I present to you this argument against slavery." Sets the Constitution down on the table. Drops a burlap sack to the ground and says, "For those of you that
Real quick, he's got me listening. I'd be interested. I'd be like, "What's happening here? You got my attention, sir?"
believe in neither the laws of God or man, I make to you this argument against slavery," as he pulls out both of his pistols and sets them on the table, which I think we can all agree is gangster as fuck. And at this moment, Sam Brown comes up on stage and shoots Cassius Clay point blank in the chest. Luckily, Cassius Clay never leaves home without his trusted Bowie knife, which resides inside of a metal sheath. And that metal sheath would catch Sam Brown's bullet, saving Cassius Clay's life. At which point, Cassius Clay would draw...
What? Tell me this guy is not meant to do something. What do you mean the bullet is caught by a Boeing knife? What do you mean? It's like 2 inches wide. That's where that guy shot? You can't kill him. It's like that meme, "You can't kill me." Bro got creative mode. This isn't even the highlight of his life. Oh yeah, we're only 4 minutes in.
His Bowie knife and charged Sam Brown. 6 of Sam Brown's friends in the audience tried to stop Cassius Clay. He would fight his way through all 6 of them, making his way to Sam Brown, promptly stabbing him in the chest, and then turning him into a Mr. Potato Head by cutting off his nose, lopping off his ear, and gouging out one of his eyes. Then the 6 men recovered and were able to peel Clay off of him. Not knowing what to do,
He went full chimpanzee. He went chimp mode, dude. Who does that, man? Literally too angry to die? What is this, Wolverine? What do you mean? You stab him in the chest, cut off his nose, and then his ear, and poke his eye. Chimp mode activated. I'm sorry. Who is this man? This guy really was dumb to take on this assassination attempt. What an idiot. And went around begging people to fuck around so he could help them find out. He created the phrase.
they couldn't stop Cassius Clay forever. They panicked, probably for fear that Cassius Clay was going to start shoving this guy's facial features up his ass next. They did the only thing they could come up with to get the two apart. They picked up their friend Sam Brown, threw him over a 7-foot-high stone wall. He fell down an embankment and into a creek bed to finally get Cassius Clay away from him. Somehow, Sam Brown survived, but not only was he lucky for that, he was also dumb as fuck because he then decided to take Cassius Clay to court because apparently after Cassius Clay stabbed him the first time, they were even on the whole assassination attempt thing. So
proportional. America doesn't do it. I don't know what people don't understand. We're even. You got me. Relax. This guy is so stupid. Like, dude, you walked away with no nose, no ear, and one eye. Now you're even. Man said, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Here is America. Peace, uncle. The friends in the story were just funny, bro. They were not good friends. Quick, throw him over the wall. Yeah, chill, dude. My bro looks like Mr. Potato Head. Let him get up.
Cassius Clay should go to prison for mayhem. So Cassius Clay calls upon his older cousin, one of the best lawyers on the planet that had never lost in open court with over 40 years of experience, Henry Clay. Henry Clay goes into court and his entire defense for his cousin is, and I quote, "Your Honor, this is just standard behavior for a Kentuckian." And the judge is just like,
dog! What? What are these arguments from lawyers that win? Your Honor, he's just a silly little guy. He's just being goofy, man. He's just a Kentuckian.
"You're innocent. Free to go. That's it. Best court case
I've heard enough.
ever."
Let him
Literally
go.
walks in and just goes,
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
So after Cassius Clay was found innocent, Henry Clay decides that he's going to run for president, and Cassius is going to help him campaign. Cassius is going to tour the country, giving speeches, saying, hey, you know, vote for my cousin. Here's the rule with that. Henry Clay told him he's only allowed to tour the northern states because he's actually legitimately concerned that if he sends Cassius to the south, he's going to shoot so many fucking slave owners in duels that it could be considered voter fraud. So Henry Clay ends up losing the presidential election, and Cassius moves on to his next life adventure, which is becoming an author and writing anti-slavery news articles. The problem with that was none of the newspapers were willing to publish him, so he says, fuck you, I'll start my own newspaper, The True American. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, starting an anti-slavery newspaper in fucking Kentucky in 1845 was not very popular, and his business would receive death threats pretty much every day, some of which were written in blood. So Cassius Clay, in true Cassius Clay fashion, says, fuck it, I guess we're gonna fight about it. He then proceeds to up-armor his entire business and his printing office. He covers the entire front of the office in a large iron sheet. He installs several cannons down corridors.
He home aloned his business? He just be like that? He home aloned his business. You know what this office needs? Cannons. Honestly, being arrested for mayhem is pretty whimsical, too. This guy is wild, bro. Who thinks of this? Is this why it's illegal to booby trap your home or office?
Stocks the entire thing with loaded guns and rigs it to explode. Here's the thing, he
Where are you
also
getting
doesn't
cannons?
expect his employees to fight to the death for him, so he installs an escape hatch and instructs them to escape if anything goes down, because he's going to fight the entire mob by himself. How's he going to do that? As soon as you walk in the only door to get into that printing office, you find yourself in a long, narrow corridor with iron on each side, just wide enough for a single man to get through. Cassius Clay is going to stand in that narrow corridor and fight the entire mob one man at a time. Literally the mentality of, if you have a problem, take a number, I'll kill you in a minute. This man recreated the entire Battle of fucking Thermopylae with 300 Spartans, except he's gonna do it all by himself.
Take a number, I'll kill you in a minute. What? He made a hallway just big enough for his shoulders, and he's like, one at a time, ladies and gentlemen, one at a time. Bodies are gonna start stacking up. What? Yeah, that sounds like a them problem. This reminds me of Dan Daly. Oh, who's Dan Daly?
If you think fucking with John Wick's dog is a bad idea, the last thing you want to do is fuck with Cassius Clay's printing press, because this man is determined to defend the freedom of speech with the right to bear arms at any cost. Obviously, this escalates to Cassius Clay defeating an entire mob single-handedly, right? Wrong. The mob, being full of, super brave pro-slavery men that know they're doing the right thing, do the honorable brave thing and wait
Run
till
away.
Cassius Clay is bedridden with typhoid fever, so they know he isn't going to show up. They show up to his business at night and burn the place to the ground because they're a bunch of fucking bitches. Now, Cassius Clay recovers from typhoid fever. He reestablishes a newspaper in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is an anti-slavery stronghold. The only problem with that is being an anti-slavery stronghold, there's not going to be any conflict, and that's fucking boring, so Cassius Clay moves on to another life adventure, volunteering in the Mexican-American War. While serving in the Mexican...
Cassius Clay is just looking for a fight. He's bored, dude. He's like, typhoid fever, beat it. A guy who stabbed me or shot me, beat it. Mob, beat it. I heard you're pretty strong. I'm here. He's like an anime MC. He's like All Might. He's like, who's next? He's like friggin' Goku. First Sergeant Dan Daly. That's another What Glorious video. Put it in the Media Monday section. I'll react to it. Tell me you haven't seen the video about the greatest Marine to ever live. This is my third Fat Electrician video. I really like him.
American War, he would be a captain leading a group of Kentucky soldiers, and they would be captured pretty much immediately, and he would spend the duration of the entire war as a POW. While serving as a POW, some of the men under his command would escape, meaning that the Mexican military was then going to put the rest of his unit to death. Cassius Clay said, hey, don't kill my men, just kill me and my other fellow officers, we're the ones in charge. It's our fault that those men escaped, it's our responsibility, please let the lower enlisted men go home. The Mexican military was so impressed by this that they decided to spare everyone, including Cassius Clay, and he would return home a war hero. Returning home from the war in 1848, he didn't really know—
They knew what they were looking at. They're like, that's a man of honor. Let him go. Let him go. I don't know if that was a good move on the Mexican army's part, considering this man is an absolute death machine. But they didn't want the smoke, and I respect that.
what to do, so he starts giving his famous speeches again, this time leveraging his newfound title as a war hero. So obviously it doesn't take long for him to piss everybody off. He faces yet another assassination attempt. This time 6 brothers from a wealthy slave-owning family show up, the Turner brothers. They show up with clubs and knives and guns, and they beat the living shit out of Cassius Clay with the clubs. They stabbed him multiple times. Cassius Clay whips out his trusted Bowie knife, starts opening up these brothers like they're fucking Amazon packages, making his way to the lead brother and stabbing him an excessive amount of times. We don't know how many times, but we do know it was a lifetime supply. Killing the lead brother, ending the assassination attempt, Cassius Clay would fall to the ground, nearly dead, and this would be the closest anybody ever came to actually killing Cassius Clay. When he was asked—
This guy just cannot die. Probably weren't sure they could kill him. It doesn't seem like he can die. This guy's insane.
About it later on in life, all he said was, I felt the utmost indignation, which translates to, I was fucking annoyed. This man almost died from an assassination attempt, and he has the same attitude towards it that I have towards fucking fruit flies, okay? This dude is so metal, he deserves his own spot on the periodic table of elements. Cassius Clay then makes a full recovery from his injuries, starts giving his speeches again. 1853, he donates a large chunk of his land to John Fee, who uses it to found Berea College, the first co-educational and multiracial college in the South.
Wow, that's
ever.
good.
Fast forward to 1860, Cassius Clay is giving speeches in Illinois where he meets a politician by the name of Abraham Lincoln, and they get along great. Cassius Clay—
That was me. That was me right then. Oh, I know that one. Finally, a name I know. Turns out Cassius Clay was the main character. We all just live in the prologue. Dude, we're in the sequel and it sucks.
is then slotted to become Abraham Lincoln's vice president. However, he's a little bit too Cassius Clay to be an actual big-name politician like that, so they give the job to Hannibal Hamlin, and Cassius Clay becomes the ambassador to Russia. 1861 rolls around, the Civil War breaks out. Cassius Clay is in Russia. Cassius Clay not only convinces Russia to not side with the Confederates, but he convinces Russia to tell Great Britain and France that if they so much as recognize the Confederacy, Russia will go to war with them. And this was a humongous step that nobody talks about in the winning of the Civil War. And it is 100% because of Cassius Clay. Fast forward to—
So Cassius Clay was the ambassador to Russia during the Lincoln presidency, and then when the Civil War broke out, he told Russia, do not recognize the Confederacy, and tell France and tell England, you don't recognize them either, or we're coming to kick your ass next. And Russia was just like, yeah, he's like, or I'm coming. And they're like, you know what? I don't want the smoke. Let's not do it. I'm just going to listen to this guy. We're W for Russia. Usually we're the bad guys.
1862, Abraham Lincoln wants to appoint Clay a major general in the Union Army. Cassius Clay publicly refuses the President of the United States, saying that he's not going to do it until the President signs the Emancipation Proclamation freeing the slaves of the South.
T, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Wait, so he was welcome in. We're watching The Fat Electrician. So he was like integral to Lincoln signing the Emancipation Proclamation? No one's ever talked about that before.
Cassius Clay is literally the man that bullied Abraham Lincoln into prematurely signing the Emancipation Proclamation before he wanted to. And nobody talks about it. Fast forward again to 1865, the Union wins the Great American Scrimmage, the slaves are freed. Cassius Clay has achieved his lifelong goal at the age of 55, bringing an end to slavery in the United States of America. He then goes back to Russia again to serve as ambassador until 1869, and while he is there, he helps to broker the purchase of Alaska. This man is probably the most influential person in American history that
we have Alaska because of
After
Cassius
returning home
Clay.
from Russia, Cassius Clay would live out the rest of his days in Whitehall until the age of 80 years old, where he would be declared clinically insane, in hindsight most likely due to a severe amount of PTSD, as well as potentially dementia. He didn't die from it, he lived on for quite a bit longer. He just picked up a new hobby of fucking with the local sheriff because he was crazy now. Over the course of the next
He was always crazy. He was always crazy, he was just good crazy. And now he's just crazy. A lot of really cool people in history events that no one talks about. That's why I like The Fat Electrician. Yeah, I would have never known that. That's really cool.
Decade, Clay and the sheriff would have multiple run-ins that would be concluded when the sheriff and 7 deputies were repelled from Whitehall when Clay utilized his home defense cannon that he had at the top of his stairwell. At that point, the local sheriff would inform the local judge he will not be returning to Whitehall to tangle with Cassius Clay anymore unless the judge was willing to dispatch an entire company of the local militia to accommodate him. Then in 1900, 2 men would break into Whitehall, and Cassius Clay at the age of 89 would manage to kill both of them, one by gunshot and one, yet again, with his trusted Bowie knife. Then in 1903, at the age of 90,
this man can't die. He's so bored. He maxed out his skill tree in just battle points. What the heck? He was crazy before, but now he's the doctor's note saying he's crazy.
Cassius Clay would die of natural causes, or as they called it back then, general exhaustion, which is the most gangster way on the planet to go out. Literally just, I'm tired now, peace. And then he left.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
In conclusion, when it comes to famous historical household names, there's always another man or woman lurking behind the scenes in the shadows that's deemed too rough around the edges to be in the spotlight, yet they contribute just as much, if not more, to the movement. These men and women are willing to do horrific things for terrific reasons. And when it came to Abraham Lincoln and the abolition of slavery, that man's name was Cassius Marcellus Clay, the most gangster politician in American history. Thanks for watching the video. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com.
That was awesome.
Out.
That was really cool. Thank you for watching. If you have any other videos you ever want me to react to, put them in the Media Monday section. On Mondays, we usually react to a couple videos, and then we put them up on our YouTube channel. He was the first person to prestige being a badass. Oh my god, he's terrifying. In, like, the coolest way. Yeah, he's killed more people in his lifetime than war heroes. He just can't be stopped. He's been shot, he's been stabbed, he Mr. Potatoed someone. He had a home cannon that he utilized frequently. I wanna know what that sheriff did to piss him off. Because everyone else had a reason that they were going after him, and he's just like, "You know what? That sheriff, that one." More chubby electron guy. Yeah. We'll do so for next stream on Saturday. We'll probably do some on Saturday as well because I really like these. And I want to pick out a couple. Where'd he get the cannon? No one knows and no one can ask. Dan daily videos just as crazy. All right, so I'm gonna react to that on Saturday. I'm not sure what else we're doing Saturday, but we'll let you guys know in the Discord this week. And I'll react to a couple more on Saturday, and then maybe Sunday. We'll see. And then these videos, if you want to see them again, they'll go out on our YouTube. Sheriff wasn't Cassius Clay, and that didn't sit right with Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay's my new hero, dude. I shot the sheriff and he fucking deserved it. I managed to buy a 75 millimeter cannon from an army surplus depot about 40 something years ago. Where do you keep it? Just in your garage? Probably got a surplus one from the local armies. It was a rather common thing to do to sell excess small, either 30 millimeter or 6 pounder cannon. He just had it on him, dude. He was a prisoner of war. He got the president signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He brokered a deal with Russia. He Mr. Potato guy. He was the America's greatest duelist. He was so bored with life.